What role do you think parents have in helping out, coaching the kids? And is there a fine line for parents being too involved and not involved enough? And
Sure. It just depends. You as a you run you're a coach.
right,
There's no two ways about it. Doing
yes,
what you're doing right here now.
yes,
And so, two things. One, okay, make sure, if you're a parent, in my opinion,
yep,
I was a parent too. Okay. And my little girl played basketball and volleyball and, wasn't the star, but, she liked to play and she went out and I was proud of her because she liked to play and didn't play on the varsity until she was a senior, didn't get to play very much when she was, but she showed up, she practiced, she had a good attitude, and I was proud of her for all that. Enjoy your kids' participation. Enjoy it.
okay,
Okay. It is hard as a parent to watch your kids compete. It's
okay,
hard. It's harder to watch them than it is to actually compete yourself.
right,
Because you don't have any control over it.
right,
I know it is.
yeah,
Okay. I think two, then, okay, if they feel like they're being overlooked, the kids. If a kid on the team feels like he's being overlooked,
like he's not getting enough playing time, or
right,
something?
exactly.
Okay, got it.
Okay, he or she
Right,
should be, as a parent, you should encourage
right.
your kid to step up for himself.
Be their own advocate.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay, come into my office.
rather than a parent coming in and going, my kid doesn't
Absolutely.
get to play enough.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
And by no means was I perfect. Did I always make the right decision? Not even close.
Sure.
Okay.
sure,
And if the kid comes in and you can have a frank conversation with them.
a coaching
Okay.
conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know,
I expect X, Y, and Z out of you.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay. And I think one of the things that happens on the coaching end of it is, I can't say that I never did this, okay? Is that you make an obligatory comment to them to make them feel better, but then you don't act on it at all, okay? You don't promise anything, but you also don't give opportunities that you maybe should have. So, there's one of the things that playing a team sport or any sport should be about, it should be teaching those kids to go into comfortable and uncomfortable situations. It's uncomfortable going to tell the coach that you don't think you're getting
Yeah.
to play enough.
yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
And so, you as a coach have to overcome the thought that, why is this guy second guessing me?
Okay,
Okay. Defensive coach,
Yes.
meaning I'm defensive about you saying,
yeah. Don't tell
Okay.
me how to run my program.
exactly.
Right.
All righty. Because you're still dealing with 14 through 18-year-olds.
Right.
They're not men yet.
Right.
And then two, when a parent comes and sees you, respect that that's their prized possession that's walked into the office.
Right.
That, when you come in to talk to me about your daughter, your son,
Yes.
okay, I gotta drop my natural defense mechanism saying that I'm right.
Right.
And, I have to be mature enough now to realize I need to listen to this person,
Okay.
to this guy.
Yeah.
And then I need to give him honest, not curt or cold, but honest responses.
Mm-hmm.
Because, there are a lot of kids that don't get to play, that are great kids. They practice hard.
Yeah.
And they just don't perform on the same level as somebody else.
Right.
And sometimes I think that's, and it's hard. And a lot of times, kids that aren't getting to play, I would be a liar to say that maybe from a personal perspective, I didn't like them. I liked them as much or more than the kids that were getting to play.
Right.
But at the same time, it's performance based,
Right.
and so you have to
You got to go with.
with that.
Yeah.
So, and then I think too, make sure that the kid is into it as much as you are.
Right. You can't want it more than your kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That when he shows, he or she, pardon me,
Yes.
that level of desire,
Yeah.
okay, that you have for him,
Yeah.
okay, then start acting on it. But don't start having it for him
Yeah.
or her.
Yeah.
I think that is important.
I think that's good advice. We see it too. We used to, when we first started, a dad would be sitting on the sidelines watching their kid and practice on the mat here, and he'd be screaming, "Go, go, go, double leg, choke him, choke him, choke him," and then the other parent's going, "Hey," and then it turns into a UFC fight where one parent's coaching their kid and the other parent's
Right.
coaching their kid, and then we finally just went over there and said, "Hey, everybody be quiet. No coaching from the sidelines."
Right.
Right? And by the way, if you want to come, we have an adult class where you can see how hard this is.
Right.
And you can understand what it's like with a grown man trying to choke you unconscious. And imagine being 6 and that happening to you. It's tough. This is a tough sport. And you, the person that's not playing it, need to be quiet. Right.
Right.
And we try to say that in the most respectful way possible. But so how do you tell a parent, like, do you say, like, it'd be great if you could have Johnny come talk to me, or
We meet at the beginning of the year.
with
Okay.
each kid?
No,
Or-
with the parents.
With
we have
parents.
a parent
Oh,
meeting.
got it.
Not with each parent,
Got it.
because that would take forever.
Got it.
And then I would hear about how wonderful they were in SBMSA and a variety of other situations,
Right.
which is great. I understand that.
Yeah.
They should be proud of that.
Yes.
I get it. I do.
Yeah.
Okay. We talk to them a lot about, I just flat say to them now, and I do not coach you, I coach your son.
Okay.
That's who I want to coach.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that in an effort to try to get them to make sure that this kid learns how to deal with the authority figure. Okay. Come down the line, gets out of high school. Mom and dad are not going to be there to bring his lunch to him,
Okay.
or to bring his clothes because he forgot them, or to make sure he gets his ass to practice on time.
Right.
All of those things. When they come late and they say, my mom, I don't coach your mom. Your mom's not supposed to be at practice.
Right.
You are.
Right.
Okay. Now, and so, deal with that end of it.
I love that.
It makes for a better situation for that kid.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to empower the kid. It's disempowering to have your mom up there
Absolutely.
being your advocate all the time.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And, I'm at a place where we say this about Memorial. The best thing about Memorial is parent involvement.
Totally.
The worst thing about Memorial is parent involvement.
Yeah. I get that.
But it really, for me, it hasn't been, and what they all think about me, I can't change that too much. I have to be myself. By and large, the experience there for 31 years has been great. I had a
Totally.
blast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been great. But, the thing about it too is that we're in a place over there where, those kids get a lot of stuff taken care of for them by
Sure.
their parents.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, I grew up in this hard scrap. I didn't. I went to Westchester High School.
Right.
My parents lived in Nottingham Forest. My dad
You were
was
Memorial Middle School too, right?
I went there for a little while. I went
Yeah.
to Spring Forest. Look, I didn't. My dad was a upper level management in Exxon. You know, so I mean, it was not like I was, you know, fighting and scrapping
You
for
grew
me.
up
I
in
had
Compton, yeah.
I had 5 brothers and sisters, so maybe I was a little bit, but not really. But the the best thing he did for me was make me take care of my own. You know, okay, you got to take care of that.
Yeah.
That's this is your thing. I'm supporting,
Yeah.
but I'm not doing.
Yeah.
You know, I want you to do it if you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I was not a great player or anything like that, but I loved being involved and I loved being part of it. And he supported that 100%. He was around it, but when it was time to go, you know, you need to go talk to the coach.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you're getting a fair deal, you need to go talk to the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you know, if he won't talk to you, then,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and you know, and I never
You
actually,
first, yeah.
you know, so I think that taught me a little bit about, okay, you know, you said it before, you know, you advocate for yourself.
Right.
Okay. All right. The one thing they're going to say to you about you in the end, as long as you're respectful when you do it and so
Yeah.
forth, is that he cares enough to come in here and you know, ask why.
Yeah. The kid wants to play more.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Cares
if
enough.
he comes in and says he wants to, you know, and if he's like, for example, if he's a younger kid riding the bench on the varsity, you know, I might say to him, you know, if I put you on the JV, you'll play every down.
Yeah.
You know, do you want to do that? And you find out the kids who really want to play when you say that to them, and they go, yes.
Cool.
You know, you really do. You know, because you start with, you went through spring, you went through the summer, and you got a bunch up. And then, you know, you going through the early season injuries and, you know, preparation and so forth, and not knowledge about it. And then you get into the games and you find out, okay, this, you know, he really can't compete at this level, we don't think, and so forth. And you have to make some of those tough calls. And,
Yeah.
you know, and you try to give him a soft landing as much as you possibly can. But, you know, I walk into you and say, hey, I'm going to move you down to the JV. It doesn't matter how nice I am about it. You're pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I want to play on the varsity,
Yeah.
you know, and everyone does,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, when you walked in this door as a 13-year-old who weighed 90 pounds, you're in your mind, in 3 years, you're going to be a Division I, you know, college football player.
Right.
Okay, I'm not taking that dream away from you, but you got a long way to go before you get there.
You're right.
You know, and you know, one of the steps is being on the varsity, and right now, we don't think you've reached that, you know, step. So,
Yeah.
you know, and let me tell you, I also coached baseball over at Stratford for a while.
Okay.
And
That's
football,
that's where Ripper got the name Ripper,
absolutely,
Right.
right. And that was a cut sport,
right? Got it.
okay? Let me tell you something. Cutting is so hard.
The worst, huh?
It is the worst. Because you know how much they want to, you know,
Yeah.
and you're just, and you have to cut the team down to a manageable size, and you know you don't have the equipment, the wherewithal, and you know, and you're sitting there looking them right in the eye when you're doing it, you know, and you're just like, oh my gosh,
Golly.
you know, and having been cut before myself,
Right.
I know how it felt,
Yeah.
you know, and no matter how, once again, how hard you work on trying to keep it positive and a soft landing, it's not.
It sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
It sucks for that kid, you
Yeah.
know. And
And you try to give them a little pep talk or whatever,
Absolutely.
but they're just
at that particular
They're
point in
just
time,
sad
they don't
for
want
a
to hear
week.
much for you,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
other than, you know.
Yeah.
And
And it's so okay. So parent involvement, kind of the philosophy I've been kicking around and sharing with people is like, you know, be there to give your kid a hug, tell them good job, tell them we're proud of you. You know, when they don't make the team, be there for them. When they win, be there for them. Leave the coaching up to the coaches.
Right.
I mean, I remember being on the living room floor with my dad. He's teaching me a forearm shiver and a side body block, all these things from the 60s or something, And so some of that was kind of fun, and I've got some good memories of that. But for the most part, he'd come watch practice and go, and he was there a lot, man. I think that's really important too, being there.
Right.
He'd come watch practice almost every day after work.
I remember him coming.
He'd
yes.
come there.
Actually, he was the original Frosty.
That's right. That's right.
Uh-huh.
So he, I think he maybe missed one sporting game my entire life, and that was because he was out of town on business or something. But I just remember him always being there and, hey, good job today. How was that? Very little like, hey, I think you should really, squeeze this guy a little more when they're running that.
Right.
It was zero technical coaching.
Right.
And I think that was really great. And interestingly enough, like I now do a sport that he and my mom know nothing about, right? Like they thought I did karate for the first 10 years, and then my mom called it jujitsu for forever, but they just supported me enough to where I found something that I could be passionate at, and then said, hey, good job, buddy. Do you need anything?
Right.
And I feel like that's a really healthy way to parent.
There's no doubt about it. I think you're there, you're a sounding board as a parent. You're a sounding board.
Yeah.
And if they come to you and ask you,
right.
Okay.
Hey, Dad, can we play catch? Can you throw the baseball for me?
Right, exactly. Can you show me something about this? I'm having trouble with this, that.
Yes.
And and that's what that's about. Then it becomes a shared experience.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Okay. And if he's doing it the way you were talking about, where it's always positive.
Yeah.
You're not getting in the car and say, well, you blew this play, you blew this one, you blew that. Right. You should have done this, you should have done that, you should have done the other thing, And, maybe down the road a little bit, when they have time to, when you have time to reflect, right after a loss, you don't want to hear.
You don't want to talk. Yeah.
Yeah. You lost.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a competitor.
That's a good point.
You tried to, you thought you had a plan. You thought you were going to be able to win. You didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like when I come off as the coach and I lost, I wasn't trying to lose.
Right.
Although you might think so, but, I wasn't. I mean, of course, people start, it's easy to shout stuff and, you hear it, but, you don't react to it or anything like that.
Right.
I think that understanding that, after that, at that moment, at that time, I'm really not in the best frame of mind for me to be having a discussion with you about why Johnny didn't play.
Right. Timing's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what? He is your prized possession, and if you want to talk to me about it, call me.
Yeah.
Let's do it at a time where, one, you're not fuming.
Right.
And two, I'm not
that's
itching.
Good. Schedule it.
Right. I'm not itching.
When you have to have those tough conversations.
Right, exactly.
Hey, why don't we talk tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Right, something like that. So that we can, so everyone can take a deep breath and
that's good advice.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so, the dad that's sort of forcing the kid, hey, come on, we're going to go hit a bucket of balls after school. Mm-hmm. Do you find that, if the kid's into it, that's great. And if the kid's not into it, it ends up doing more harm than good?
It could, if that's where you get into the idea that we're working on dad's dream.
Okay.
Dad or mom's dream.
Okay.
If it's the kid's dream, if it's the kid's passion.
Yeah.
And you want to be involved in it.
That's cool.
I think that's when it becomes a really shared experience, when it's great,
Yeah.
It's shared experience, and your dad's there watching you, and you're happy, and it's great.
Yeah.
If you get beat, you walk off, puts his arm around you, and it's hey, do you think you did the best you could, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And look, when you line up in these competitive situations, someone's losing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone is.
Yeah.
And you can nitpick everything you do.
Yeah.
Or you could get an overarching sense of, okay, what were some of the bigger reasons why I wasn't effective
Yes.
in these situations?
Yeah.
Okay. And right after I wasn't, probably isn't the moment for you to talk to me about it. You know, it's not like, you know, you were out there, you went through it, you know, you knew you screwed it up
Right.
because you were there.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, and then probably if you were in my game, you walked off the field, there was someone like me telling you that you did and what
Grabbing
you
you
did
by
wrong.
the face mask.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, sure. So I think that at that point, you know, and even we, after it was over, rarely did you get it right after the game.
Yeah, I remember you were always great. I think probably every loss we had, you got on the bus, you shook everybody's hand on the bus. A lot of times you were sorry, I screwed up coaching today. You know, you sort of took the fall.
Right.
And we're all going, no, coach, man, I mean, we screwed up too,
Right,
you know.
yeah. Well, I think but that needs to be a shared experience between you and the players as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and
The winning and the losing.
yeah, absolutely.
I get that. It's not, you're not always yeah, I get that.
Right. You know, I mean, let me say this, just, you know, and it makes me sound like I'm so sort of a saint, but the fact of the matter is, out in public, I rarely talk about who caused our issues. You know, you can't talk about an 18-year-old kid, you know, or 14, you know.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Johnny, you know, we got to do better coaching. We'll get better, you know, stuff like that. I you know, now, do we sit down? You know, the next day you started watching film, and it was a little bit different situation.
Yeah.
We were away from it. We saw the pictures. We assess it. Like I was talking last night at the banquet. I said during the season, when we look at the season, we look at each game. We look at it with a critical eye. That's what we do, and you know, we want you to get better.
Yeah.
And so you look at it with a critical eye. If Dad doesn't think we're looking at it with a critical enough eye, then he should come watch film with us. I think.
Right. Their parents are missing everything that's happening behind the scenes too.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
You know.
yeah.
And then too, I mean, I will say now that there is a desire for it to open up and, you know, give us insight into your program and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not you know, I am a big believer in, okay, and maybe I'm wrong now, and maybe I am an anachronism. I'm an old man that's, you know, gone past his time. But my belief is that the only opinions that matter to me at this particular point in time are the opinions that are in this room, talking about the locker room.
The guys that are in the arena.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, coaching staff,
I love
the
that.
players.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
What the outside noise,
How do you block it out?
I don't worry. You know, it was harder when I was younger doing it.
Yeah.
You know, now I've been around it so long that it's just, you know, you could scream at me and stuff like that, and you know, there was a time where I'm going to go fight your ass or something like that, which was stupid then.
Yeah.
Now I'm too old to do that.
Right.
You know, I can't say that every once in a while I don't wish I would have, but you know, and I probably would have lost most of them anyway. But more significantly, I think that I too have come to the point where I, you know, when you were playing, I wasn't a parent yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I became one, okay, my outlook changed a little bit.
Okay.
Because you have a kid.
Yes.
And now you're thinking, okay, wait a minute. Something's happening to my kid.
Yeah. Precious cargo.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And you start to think about it, okay, wait a minute. If he feels about his kid, which I'm sure he does, the way I do about mine, then I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, you know.
Okay.
Get off some steam.
So you just get in their world and you're like, I got it. They're pissed. I'd be pissed too.
Absolutely.
And then you don't let it.
Right. I don't.
You don't push back.
You know, and then if they want to come and see me, then we sit down and,
Yeah.
you know, and you try to be rational. And I think that, you know, if there's, you know, if you end up with two adults in the room,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, I hope I am at some point. I can't say I always am, but,
Right.
if there's two adults in the room, and then what you end up doing is you at least get to air your grievance, and we may have to agree to disagree when we leave, okay? But I'm not going to discount your feelings.
You're upset. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're valid.
Absolutely, they are.
That's good.
If you come in to see me, you have a valid reason to be in there.
Yeah.
If I'm going to meet with you and you tell me why you're here instead of tell me what you think of me.
Right.
Okay. But which now, if you tell me why you're here and then I discount why you're there
Right.
and don't treat you with the respect you deserve,
Yeah.
then you should tell me what you think of me.
Got it.
Okay. Don't open with telling me what you think of me. Okay. Open with telling me why you're here.
Coach, I'm here. I'm upset. Blah, blah,
Exactly
blah, blah.
right. And
Yeah.
let me hear where you're coming from and let me meet. I may or may not have an answer. I don't have 100% of the answers.
Right.
I don't. But if I'm not respectful,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't be. Okay?
Right.
And if I'm not respectful, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Right.